Are you thinking about joining the military but worried about your Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery or ASVAB scores? Maybe you've taken the test and you didn't score as high as you'd hoped. Or maybe you're just curious about job options with a lower score. Welcome to the U.S. Military Test Prep channel by Study.com. My name is Matt and I'm a former soldier in the U.S. Army and an ASVAB test prep expert. So here's the deal. A lower ASVAB score does not mean that you can't serve or have a meaningful career in the military. Every single job in the military plays a role in making sure the mission gets done. And while some careers require higher ASVAB scores, plenty of positions don't. So in today's video, I'm going to cover everything that you need to know about understanding your scores on the ASVAB if you're looking to enlist in the U.S. military. I'll also explain what jobs you can still qualify for even if you have a low score. The ASVAB has 9 or 10 subtests depending on whether you're taking the paper or computerized version. These subtests check your knowledge in different areas like general science, arithmetic reasoning, word knowledge, paragraph comprehension, mathematics knowledge, and the other areas are electronics information, auto and shop information, mechanical comprehension, and assembling objects. You'll get a standard score for each one of the subtests. So, what's a standard score? It's basically how you stack up against other people your age, specifically 18 to 23-year-olds in the US. The average score is 50, so the scoring system is built around that. 50 is your baseline, and a 10-point difference shows how far above or below average you are. So a 60, above average. A 40, below average. That's pretty easy. Higher scores show off your strengths in certain areas, which can be a game changer for landing specific jobs. You'll also get a percentile rank. This shows how your performance compares to others. For example, a percentile rank of 75 means that you scored better than 75% of standard test takers. But here's the thing, a low score in one area doesn't mean that you won't qualify for jobs that depend on other strengths. That's where different scores come in. Here's where it gets a bit more customized. Once you're eligible to enlist, the military will use your ASVAB scores to determine what kind of job you're best suited for within the service. These jobs are determined using composite scores, also called line scores. These are created by combining your standard scores from various subtests that are relevant to specific jobs. Each branch of the military has its own way of calculating these because different roles require different skills. Each military job has a minimum composite score requirement in one or more areas. For example, a technical job would look at your math and science scores, while a more mechanical role will care more about your understanding of mechanics and tools. Your composite scores really dictate what kind of jobs you qualify for, so they're really worth paying attention to. Even if your overall ASVAB score is low, a high score in a specific category might still qualify you for certain jobs. Roles like logistics specialist, motor transport operator, culinary specialist, and military postal clerk are all essential to keeping the military running. These jobs focus on supplying troops, managing inventory, handling transportation, and providing food and base support. They offer valuable experience, career growth, and opportunities to retrain for higher skilled positions in the future. Let's take a look at a few examples of jobs that you can still qualify for with a lower ASVAB score. The Army has support and logistics jobs like culinary specialist and motor transport operator. If you have at least a minimum operators and food score of 85, you could still be eligible for these. The Army combines your verbal expression and auto and shop information and mechanical comprehension scores to calculate this score. Retail services specialist and logistics specialist are Navy jobs that use your verbal expression and arithmetic reasoning scores. A minimum score of 83 is required for the retail services position, and you'll need at least a 92 for the logistics job. You can work in services in the Air Force with a general score of 24. Adding your arithmetic reasoning and verbal expression scores together will give you this score. Your Armed Forces Qualifying Test, or AFQT score, might be the most important score. It decides whether or not you can even enlist at all. Each branch sets its own minimum score, so you have to clear that bar to move forward. The AFQT comes from a combination of your scores on 4 key subtests. These subtests include arithmetic reasoning, which has basic math and word problems, and mathematics knowledge, which includes a variety of math concepts. The other 2 subtests are word knowledge, which tests vocabulary and word meanings, and paragraph comprehension, which measures how well you can understand written materials. Your AFQT score is a percentile ranking, meaning that if you score a 60, then you did better than 60% of other test takers. Each military branch has its own standards. Let's talk numbers and take a closer look at the minimum AFQT score you need to enlist in each branch of the military. You'll need a high school diploma or GED for most branches of the military. For those with a high school diploma or GED, the required score varies based on which one you have. If you've passed the GED exam, you'll need to aim for at least a score of 50 for all branches. With a high school diploma, that's where scores are a little bit more varied. You'll need a minimum score of 31 for the Air Force, Army, and Marine Corps. The Coast Guard requires a 36, which is the highest required AFQT score. If you want to enlist in the Navy, you'll need at least a 35. If your AFQT score is higher than the minimum, then that's great. This opens up additional job options, potential for more career growth, and maybe even some bonuses. If your AFQT score is below the minimum for your desired branch, don't panic. You can always retake the ASVAB after studying more or consider different branches since some may have lower requirements. Don't stress if your scores aren't where you want them to be yet. There are steps that you can take to improve your scores and better position yourself for the military jobs that you want. First, pinpoint your strengths and weak areas. Look at subtests that brought your scores down and which ones you excelled in. While it's important to address weaker areas to meet minimum requirements, excelling in your strong areas can also offset a low score in other sections. This balance can improve your overall test outcome, especially for composite scores or percentile rankings. Next, study smarter. Spend more time on the sections that you struggled with. Using good study resources can make a big difference. Study.com's ASVAB test prep resources can help with personalized plans and practice tests to get you back on track. In fact, 92% of users pass the ASVAB after prepping with Study.com. Taking a practice test can really help you zero in on what you know and what you don't. Watch lessons to review the material that you're less confident in. If you feel like you know a topic well, do practice problems and quiz yourself. If you notice that you're getting a lot wrong, go back and review the lesson to make sure you really know the material. Preparation and planning can really help boost your score. You can also retake the ASVAB. You'll need to wait 30 days before your first 2 retakes. After that, it's a 6-month wait if you want to try again, so definitely use the time that you have to your advantage. Also, keep in mind that you can use your ASVAB scores for up to 2 years to enlist. Make sure you plan accordingly. If you need to retake the ASVAB, consider using Study.com's ASVAB study guide and test prep resources, which really help you zero in on what you need to study. And remember, even if you don't get the score for the job you wanted, there might be other military jobs that might even be a better fit for you. The goal is to maximize your strengths. So what's the takeaway? A low ASVAB score does not mean that you can't still have a great career in the military. There are still plenty of jobs available that can give you valuable experience, training, and opportunities for advancement. Plus, there are a few steps that you can take to boost your scores and improve your chances of landing the military job that you want. If this video helped you out, give it a thumbs up, drop a comment with any topics or questions that you want us to cover, and don't forget to subscribe for more US military test prep content. You've got this, and I'll see you in the next video.